Hey there, my name is Ben Freer. I'm an immigration lawyer for entrepreneurs. The majority of my work deals with the E2 Treaty Investor Visa, which is a great visa that enables investors and entrepreneurs and their key employees to run and grow a business in the United States after making a substantial at-risk investment. In this video, I'll discuss the qualifications for investors and their employees. First, let's focus on the investors, which are the driving force behind the E2 visa. Without an investor, there are no qualifying E2 visa employees. To qualify for an E2 visa, an individual investor must hail from a country that has an E2 treaty with the United States. If the investor is not an actual person, but instead a business entity, then that entity must be at least 50% owned by nationals of the treaty country. Fortunately, there are many powerhouse countries that are on the list, including Canada, UK, Japan, France, Italy, Spain. But there are also some notable countries that aren't on the list, including China, India, Brazil, and many others. Number 2 on the list is business ownership. The business must be at least 50% owned by nationals of the treaty country. Number 3 on the list is significant investment. A substantial financial commitment is required for the E2 visa. This startup capital must be lawfully obtained and placed at risk in the U.S. business. So in other words, the investment must be legally obtained and spent prior to applying for the E2 visa. Let me give you a real-world example. If you're starting a restaurant, you would need to purchase your kitchen equipment, spend money on the lease, build out the dining room, etc. And then once you've spent everything that you need to start the business, then you would apply for the E2 visa. If you simply transferred your money to the US business account and then you did not actually spend the money before applying for the visa, then your case would probably be denied. Number 4, an operational business is required. The investment must be in an active and operational for-profit business. In practice, this usually means that the business either has to be operating, or if it's not operational, it must be right on the cusp of becoming operational. Number 5, economic contribution. It's crucial that the business contributes positively to the U.S. economy. This is typically measured by looking at the jobs that the business intends to create. If the business is only expected to produce an income for the investor, then that business will likely not meet the E2 visa qualifications, and it will be found to be a marginal business. Number 6, active management. Investors are required to be actively involved in developing and directing the business. And number 7, the investor has to have an exit strategy. They must show that they have the intention to leave the US once their E2 status expires. So that's a quick overview of the E2 visa qualifications for investors. Now let's talk about the key employees of investors who can also take advantage of the E2 visa. The employees who are eligible for the E2 visa typically fall into 2 categories. We have the executive or managerial employees, and we have employees with essential skills. When determining if an executive or a managerial employee qualifies, the adjudicator will consider the job title and the position's significance within the company. These positions will have real control and responsibility over a major part of the company or its overall operations. Think about where this role sits in the company's hierarchy and the type of decisions this person will be making. Another crucial aspect is the number of people that the employee will actually manage, and not just their quantity, but also their skill levels. Plus, experience matters. A relevant educational background or a background in leading teams or projects can play a big role in meeting these criteria. To qualify for an E2 visa based on specialized skills, the adjudicator will evaluate several factors to determine if the skills are indeed specialized. Here's a concise breakdown. Number 1, experience and training. Does the applicant have the necessary experience and training to perform the specialized skills that are required for the job? Number 2, are the skills commonly found in the general US workforce? The more unique the skills, the better the odds of a successful application. Also, does the salary reflect the specialized nature of the skills? Typically, the salary will be higher than average to match the expertise that is required. The applicant should have a proven track record or demonstrable experience in the specialized area relevant to the job. And finally, the role the applicant will assume in the US should specifically require specialized skills to function effectively. These criteria can help establish whether an applicant's skills are specialized enough to qualify for an E2 visa, focusing on the distinctiveness and necessity of the skills for the business operations in the US. So to wrap all this up, the E2 visa not only opens the doors for foreign national entrepreneurs, but also for their key employees that can help make their business a success in the US. By understanding and preparing for these E2 visa qualifications, you'll be one step closer to making a successful E2 visa application. Of course, there's a lot more to understand about the E2 visa qualifications, so if you are interested in this visa, I highly recommend that you reach out to one of the many amazing E2 visa lawyers that you can find across the globe. These lawyers can offer guidance that is tailored to your unique situation. And one last thing, if you did enjoy this video, please like it or pass it along to someone who may benefit from it. Thanks for watching.